Now that it's all clean, let's put it back together. That's what's happening on this episode of Featherstone Bicycles. I had said, I think on the last episode, that I forgot to measure how far away the lock nuts for the cone nuts were on the axle, but that's because I didn't think I was using this axle. So that's my story. Putting a little Teflon on here, make things assemble a little bit easier. Get our first cone nut on. And then go from there. You saw there I was playing around in the beginning with the cone nuts on how far away they were, and realized I brought the frame out and I was trying to position in there, and I thought, you know what, I just got to go to the service manual. I have it. Why not use it? Found the right hub, and that's basically from where that cone nut on the drive side goes in, just the cone nut. You measure 1 3/4 inches. And then you put the washer on and the lock nut, tighten that down, hand tighten the spacer, and then flip it around, do the cone nut, washer, lock nut on the other side, get it free with little to no play, and then put it in. And I noticed, well, wait a minute, I've got a little bit more space here on the right. But then I realized with the derailleur hung on the outside, that's going to take up some space there. So you saw at the end of that I had equal amount of space on either side, and that's exactly what you want. It was weird at first because when I put it in, I noticed the hub was so far over to the left, but then I forgot that, you know, the way the dishing works is that the dishing is all splayed out on this side, and then on this side it's almost flat. So that moves the rim off center. The rim is almost lined up with this side of the hub as opposed to right in the middle like it would be on the front axle hub. So now that we've got all that done, let's put the spokes in. I didn't explain in the beginning there the lacing process. After 13 full seasons, this being season 14, I don't need to explain that anymore. I did make a bonus episode of that, how to start that lacing process, if you want to check that out, if you're interested in hearing more about that. Now, the wheel is onto the truing stand. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to use this handy dandy little bit that I made. I think you can buy these, but a viewer a long time ago told me I could just make one from an old screwdriver, which I did. And that is a much easier process of screwing in the spoke nipples. And you need to get these all the way around evenly. So what I like to do, bring you in here, is to get the edge of the nipple to where it just starts to hit the end of the threads of the spoke, and then you'll know you're all the way around even. Then you'll notice that with truing wheel, you use these little pinchers, and you can see right off the bat that we are way off. We're way over here to the left. And that's because we've only got a little bit of room on the left-hand side here for the axle. And because of the freewheel on the right-hand side, we've got a lot of room over here. And so the whole rim is pushed this way because of that off-center of the axle. So what has to happen on a front axle where it's even, your dishing, that is the splaying out of the spokes from the center out to the edges of the hub, would be even. But on a rear wheel with a freewheel, that's off. So all the splaying is going to be on the left side, and the right side is almost going to be no splaying of the spokes. So that's going to push, if I can do this right here, that's going to push the whole rim over this way to the right, and then you're gonna, it's kind of hard to show with one hand here, but you'll see in the process that as I true it up, after I get all the spoke nipples even, Then you just go through and you tighten them all a little bit, a little bit, a little bit until they're all tight. And then you actually start the truing process where you close these pinchers in. And as they rub, then the spokes on this side are too tight and the ones on the right side are too loose. So you keep on doing that until you get the pinchers almost touching the rim. And you'll see at that point the rim has moved all the way over to the right. Hopefully you can see now that the side, the drive side, you have, let's see if I can get this right here, you have almost no splay on the spokes, and then over here they're coming out biased all the way to the left side. So that's going to make the wheel center within the dropouts. So now we can put on our spoke guard. That needs to be shined up a little bit. And then put on our freewheel. And then we're ready to put the rim strip, tube, and tire in. complete. You might have seen I was having trouble when you have the gum walls. It's easier to see when the bead isn't centered, because you can tell you've got, less gum wall space here and more in other spots. So I was having some trouble with it, but as I got closer up in the PSI from the inflator, it worked out fine. It popped into place. So that looks good, and we can put that one up here as done. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope to see you next time on Featherstone Bicycles.